I'm kind of floored. This may have just become my new favorite drugstore powder highlight. If you've been beauty shopping at Walmart recently, then you may have noticed a new makeup brand on shelves called Pretty Smart Cosmetics. Now, I'll be honest with you, I noticed this brand pop up a few months ago at my store, and nothing about it really enticed me to explore it more. The packaging is just kind of plain and the product seemed run-of-the-mill, so I didn't feel very motivated to try anything until I learned a few things about this brand that got me a lot more curious to test their products. So that's what we're doing today. I'm trying a full face of Pretty Smart Cosmetics and everything is under $10. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. This channel is dedicated to budget beauty. If that sounds like your vibe, hit subscribe. Now, full disclosure, the brand sent me half of the products I'll be showing in this video, and then I went and bought the other half with my own money at Walmart because I did want to do a full face and they didn't quite send me enough to finish a routine. But all opinions are my own and I will asterisk the products that they sent me in the description. So I have two face primers that I can choose from. I have their Radiant Face Primer and their Diffusing Face Primer. These are both $9.98. I want to open them and just see what the vibe is because if this is like super radiant, I don't know if I necessarily want to put it under the foundation that I have because I want to see what the foundation actually looks like. Ooh, okay, so we have the sort of white peachy color. Ooh, it is incredibly liquidy. It feels pretty hydrating. Okay, so this is a water-based primer. It is cruelty-free and vegan along with the rest of all the products I'm gonna show you today. And it has sunflower seed oil to hydrate. However, there is micro shimmer to this primer. It's very subtle and I don't think it's giving off like sparkly or glittery, but if you look up close, you can see the shimmer. So I don't think this is what I want to go for today, but it is very pretty. It feels good on the skin. So let's try the Diffusing Face Primer. This is also water-based and also has sunflower seed oil in it. So I'm expecting it to be pretty similar, just maybe without the micro shimmer. Okay, yeah, definitely similar just coming out of the tube. It is very thin and liquidy. I can't tell if it has fragrance. Okay, looking at the ingredients, there is fragrance very far down on the list, but it's definitely not strong. Now, even though they call this water-based, it is not silicone-free. I am seeing dimethicone in the ingredients, so there will be a little bit of that smoothing that silicone provides, which frankly I need. Okay, it feels really good on the skin, and it doesn't feel thick like a silicone primer usually does. Very lightweight just to start. Now I have both concealer and foundation from this brand to try today. Usually in my routine, I would use concealer first, like on my blemishes and dark spots, and then go over with my foundation. However, just for this test, I want to work a little backwards so that I can actually see how much coverage this foundation gives. And as you can see, I purchased 3 shades of each because I just couldn't tell what was right for me. But what's very impressive about this brand, first of all, their shade ranges are very impressive, especially for a drugstore brand. With that said, you're not going to be able to find all 30 plus shades on shelves at Walmart because there is limited space. But if you do shop online, I'm pretty sure both of these lines have more than 30 shade options and different undertone options that are very clearly labeled. So this is their Instant Chemistry Medium Coverage Foundation. It is $9.98. So here is light, medium, neutral. It actually looks a little bit warm for my skin tone. Let's try light, medium, cool. Okay, that might be the front runner. I'm thinking light, medium, warm is gonna be a straight up no now. So we have light, medium, neutral, light, medium, cool, and light, medium, warm. Yeah, personally, I don't think any of these match me very well. Okay, I think I'm gonna apply neutral. So I will say, like in store, just having this little tiny stripe of color to go off of is kind of difficult. Now, let me tell you the few things I learned about this brand that got me interested in trying these products. Yeah, this is gonna be slightly dark on me. So this is a female-founded brand. It was founded by Marissa Shipman, who is also the founder and CEO of The Balm Cosmetics. Do we remember The Balm? The Balm was a pretty popular kind of mid-range beauty brand when I started here on YouTube in like 2012. They were sold in department stores like Kohl's. They were there when I worked at Kohl's, and I often bought their stuff like on discount. And I really liked that brand, but it kind of fell into obscurity just a little bit. Like, you just don't hear a lot of people talking about it anymore. But knowing that I really liked their cleaner formulas and, you know, their price point wasn't that high, I was like, okay, now I'm a little bit more interested in this brand. Okay, pause. This is medium coverage, supposedly, and I'm getting a lot of coverage. I don't feel like I applied that much, but y'all saw this like honker of a zit, and it pretty much covered all of the redness. So knowing that Marissa Shipman was behind this brand definitely piqued my interest. And as I mentioned in passing earlier, this entire brand is vegan and cruelty-free. And I also feel like a lot of people would consider this a clean makeup brand, and they don't use this word in their marketing, at least from what I've seen. However, they have a list of ingredients that they do not use in their formulas, and I just feel like they kind of fit the bill for what a lot of people consider to be clean. Their products are free of talc, petroleum, parabens, phthalates, phenoxyethanol, SLS, and more. So especially the fact that they're talc-free kind of caught my eye, because a lot of people have been asking me about talc-free options at the drugstore. Okay, this is one layer of the foundation, and I'm kind of floored. Wait a second. This is definitely at least medium full. Like, I know that I have a lot of skin texture right now because I've been picking at my skin. And it really did just smooth over everything. So this is made with sunflower lecithin for antioxidant properties, coconut alkanes for skin softening properties, and it is also supposed to be a mattifying foundation, at least according to Walmart.com. So let's see how it dries down while we do the rest of my makeup, but shoot, now we have the concealer and I have like nothing to conceal. So let's do our best to try this concealer anyway. This is their Conceal and Appeal Concealer. This is actually only $7.97, but I bought it on rollback for $6.97. Again, there are over 30 shades. Honestly, just very impressed with the shade range. It goes pretty deep. This has both glycerin and sunflower lecithin. Let's try it out. So I have the shades 208 Light Cool. It definitely feels creamy, but not thick. This one's 216 Light Medium Cool. And this one is 212 Light Medium Warm. I'm just gonna dot Light Cool on the areas where, I mean, frankly, they're already pretty well covered, but I just wanna make sure they stay well covered. The foundation coverage really threw a wrench in my plans. Okay, yeah, it's slightly lighter than the foundation color, but it's blending in really well. Now I'm gonna use Light Medium Warm under my eyes. Yeah, it's crazy how Light Medium Warm is so much lighter than Light Cool. Yeah, it's blending out pretty well. Okay, so far I'm kind of impressed. These products just look so unassuming. So far, I'm really liking how my skin is looking. Now, while we're here, I do want to lightly set my under eyes. I have 2 of their Photo Blur powders. These are $8.98, and they do come in shades. So I have light neutral and medium warm. Here's light neutral, here's medium warm. I think because I'm setting my under eyes, I'm gonna go with light neutral. Now, I typically like to set my under eyes with loose powder, but I did not see that option from this brand yet. Okay, this powder looks really nice too. It is not making my under eyes look dry or any more textured, in my opinion. I am just gonna keep it pretty light to where I know my concealer often creases. Now I have a clear brow gel from them that they sent me. I didn't see any type of brow pencil, at least at my store. So I'm just using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. So I have their You've Got Brow Gel. This is $7.48. I have the clear version, but it does come in tinted shades as well. Ooh, I really do like the micro spoolie though. I love smaller spoolies in brow gels. It just makes me feel like I have so much more control. Okay, right off the bat, this feels pretty liquidy, not very thick. I don't think this is gonna be the type of brow gel that you can really do sort of lamination brows with. if that's your style. As long as I can sort of brush them up and it actually locks them into place, I'm happy. Now, Pretty Smart does have their own eyeshadow primer that I really wanted to try because it had great reviews and it was on my shopping list, but I got overwhelmed when I went into Walmart because, you know, we have all of our makeup, including this brand, behind the glass locks. So you have to go in like with your list, knowing what you're picking out. I was getting like 3 shades of everything and the employee was staring at me like, hello, what are we doing here? I forgot. And I'm sad about it. So I'm just gonna put on the e.l.f. Lock It Down Primer. It's like they really did take away the makeup browsing experience with the locked cases. By the way, while we're here, just a quick foundation check-in. I am noticing it dry down. It's a little bit less radiant than it started out. There is more of a matte appearance, but it's not necessarily like a dry matte. It's giving natural matte. I'm also seeing a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of settling in my forehead expression lines, although those are sort of the hardest ones to keep makeup from creasing on me personally. I'm gonna go back into the photo blur finish. And again, this is talc-free. And I'm just gonna lightly dust that on my forehead to hopefully combat some of this creasing. Now, I'm not seeing any settling around my laugh lines yet, but I'm just gonna preemptively powder those too. For the eyes, I have their Celebrity Artist Eyeshadow Palette. This is in the shade Selection 104. This was $9.98. And I'm pretty sure there are 3 or 4 of these eyeshadow quads available. This one leans a little bit more cool toned purple and taupe. This I'm very excited to dive into because the Balm made really great eyeshadow formulas and I loved their eyeshadow palette, so I'm kind of hoping that it's similar. And as you can see, we have 3 mattes and 1 shimmer shade. First, I'm gonna go into this blender shade, kind of a neutral brown. Ooh, okay. The pigmentation is there. Yeah, it's not too dusty. I feel like the pigmentation is moderate, easily buildable, easily blendable, and it's not messy in the palette when I dip in. I'm gonna tap this taupe shade, which I believe is called My Shadow, on the lid. Ooh, that is a beautiful, almost like purpley grayish taupe. The pigmentation is strong. I mean, now that I'm kind of tapping on this matte formula all over, like, that's a good amount of color. And it's very silky. I'm not getting any muddiness or patchiness at all. Now going into the purple shade, I believe this is called Whirlwind. It has shade names listed on the front of the packaging, but it's not like charted out. Something else that I don't think I mentioned earlier is that these products are all made in the US as well. I feel like $10 for an eyeshadow quad. I mean, frankly, it is getting to be the average, I guess you could say, because I've seen that same price for like ColourPop quads and CoverGirl quads. So I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit wishful thinking when it comes to makeup prices, but giving it a second thought or talking about it out loud is making me realize that that's actually a pretty average price now. But we're also getting that cleaner formula here, so I get it. The prices are just, they're a-changin'. Let's finish up with this sparkly, kind of silvery pink. And I'm gonna put that sort of over that taupe shade, but focusing on the inner portion. Pretty. Oh, that's a beautiful satin shadow. It is not too glittery. It's not too metallic. I think this would be very forgiving for kind of more crepey eyelids as well. Crepey, that's such a weird word. What is a better word we can use for eyelids that have more lines on them, that might be a little bit looser? Can we figure out a better word? I feel like that's a word that like anti-aging creams push because it is so cringy that it makes you want to not have crepey eyelids. All of that to say, this is a really nice eyeshadow finish that is not accentuating my lines on my eyes. I definitely have like those creases deep in my inner corners. Y'all, I'm just gonna say it. This is a really beautiful eyeshadow formula. I think this brand has the potential to be really, really big. And just so far, first impressions, I'm a supporter. This is the first time that I have put eye makeup on since my eye injury, which is completely healed now, by the way. If you missed it, I damaged my cornea last week putting mascara on. I just angled the wand weird, and went straight into my eye with a pokey comb mascara wand. There was a scratch on my cornea, but luckily by the end of the week, it was healed. The pain and discomfort only lasted a couple days, but that is absolutely one of my worst fears realized in terms of like makeup related injuries. On that note, this brand does have an eyeliner. It's a felt tipped liquid liner. I just really haven't been on my liner game recently. I've really liked how my shadow looks have come out without liner. So I went ahead and skipped that, but just wanted to let y'all know that it exists. But I do have the Pretty Smart Drama mascara. This was $8.97. They have a few different mascaras available. It was kind of hard to tell what the difference was between them all, although on the side you can see the mascara brush shape, and that is something that I noticed was a difference. And it does look like a very standard, maybe on the thick side, mascara wand. I am wiping off the excess just so that way we're able to layer this up instead of going straight for bold. I want to see how the consistency is on my lashes, and I am going to be so freaking careful. We do not need a repeat of last week, especially because this wand is so thick. I'm going to try to not be a klutz. Okay, I like how this is building up. I wiped off a lot of the mascara just to get a thin layer on the lashes to start, but I'm already seeing a length boost for sure. And I'm definitely getting some volume, but it's not really thick, which I prefer. I do wish that this brush kept my lashes more separated and kind of fanned out, but here we are so far, one layer before and after. It is a pretty wet formula. I'm losing just a tiny bit of my curl here. Let's go back in and try to layer up a little more. I'll give it credit though. I'm like really going in and layering this and it's not clumping. Wow, okay, my lashes are officially at a length where I can kind of like feel them when my eyes are open. All right, I think that is where I'm gonna stop with the layering. Before, after. So I definitely lost a little bit of curl, not too much though. I do tend to like crimp my lashes up to accommodate that happening. I'm just not the type of person who likes to curl my lashes after I've already put mascara on, because typically that ends up taking a few of them out. So that's why I try to do the proactive over curling. This one I feel like I'm hitting my lid with a lot of mascara, but I would rather do that than cut my eye. I think I just curled these lashes a little bit more than the other side, so that's why I'm hitting the lid. Yeah, I like this mascara. Next, let's go in with their bronzer powder. I got the shade Hermosa 2. There were only two to choose from. They also had a liquid bronzer that I didn't notice until after I had already checked out. And that one actually had a cool contour shade that I'm really, really interested in trying out. But for now, this is what we have. This was only $8.97. Here is the Hermosa 2 shade. I'm a little worried that it's gonna be pretty warm, but I am gonna try to use it as like a bronzer contour hybrid. Before I add this though, I do wanna get your input on how this light medium neutral foundation shade is looking on me. Do you think that it looks like it matches? I think it is slightly yellower maybe than like my neck. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty warm. So I am curious now about their cool contour product. But here's the thing. That product that I'm talking about, I'll put it on the screen here. It's called Liquid Bronzer, but the shade is called Cool Contour. And you've heard me rant about it once. You're gonna hear me rant about it again. Bronzer and contour are not the same thing. But for some reason, they've become synonymous to makeup brands. But this is a true bronzer. It's definitely giving me more warmth versus shadow and dimension on my face. It is what it is. I'm not gonna reach for another contour. I'm just gonna use this. It's pretty though. It's not too orange by any means. Like let's not get it twisted. This is actually a very nice bronzer shade for my skin tone. It's not leaning too orange, it's not leaning too red, it's blending really nicely. I just want a contour powder at the drugstore. Please, please. But no, this is a nice bronzer. Now I do have a liquid blush option as well as a powder blush option. I have 3 shades of their I'm Dreaming liquid blush and 1 shade of their Extra Pretty pressed blush. Let's swatch these liquid blushes. I only think one of the shades that I have would actually match the look. This one is called Virgin. Okay. None of these other products had like edgy names, so that was just a little bit of a surprise. Yeah, this one is for sure not gonna match what we've got going on. It is much more of an orange. This one wait, why is this one also called Virgin? I'm confused. So they sent me 2 of the same shade. So we've got Virgin. And then this one is called Inspire. It looks like a mauve. This I think would match. Yeah, that would look really pretty. And this is a very thin liquid blush formula. It's not really that creamy. Yeah, it says that it's made with coconut alkanes. Ooh, it blends out really nicely too, although it does blend to be a bit more on the sheer side. Here, let me try this orange. This orange is like really pigmented, but it does blend out nicely. That would have been really nice for fall. Not on my skin tone though. I think that would have brought out a lot of the yellow in my skin. I want to test out this pressed blush because I think the talc-free aspect is going to be interesting to a lot of people. Okay, I gotta be a little careful. It's pretty pigmented. Yeah, that's beautiful, smooth on the skin. I really did judge a book by its cover when it came to the packaging of these products, which I'm sure they do have to stay pretty simple in order for them to be able to price the products this way. Because I gotta say, I'm really not a huge fan of cardboard packaging, especially when you have these like plastic flimsy windows to see the color. I don't like the packaging, but the product is really good. This is a really pretty color. It's slightly warm for the look that I have on my eyes, but not too crazy. I'm also gonna put on their powder highlight. This is their Sparkling Aurora highlight in the shade Golden Bloom. This is $9.98, and holy cow, does this look so pretty. I wanna see if this gives glow or if it gives sparkle. Oh, it gives glow. Oh my gosh, that, I might need to tone that down. I don't know if y'all have ever heard me say that about a powder highlight. Oh, that's beautiful. This may have just become my new favorite drugstore powder highlight because there are not a lot that I like to use because a lot of the times they give glitter, they give sparkle, and I much prefer when it's using like pigment for the glow and not shimmer. And this is, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Okay, let's not get into 2016 highlighting, she says, as she continues to highlight her whole face with this beautiful powder. This is almost the effect that I would expect from a liquid highlight dried down, but in powder form. It's also not really doing a lot when it comes to my texture, and what I mean by that is it's not making it look worse. So I'm also just dusting that under my brows, and then I'm gonna put a tiny bit in my inner corner as well. I've preferred doing this recently versus just using like another eyeshadow shade as my highlight. I think it kind of just ties together the eye and face makeup, and this matches perfectly. Ooh, we got a mascara flake. I did nudge my lash though. That is something to keep an eye on. This may be like the star of this video for me. I mean, the foundation was pretty impressive too, but this really impressed me. And y'all know I'm a highlight snob. Oh, also, I did want to point out so many comments last video about my earrings, which were like cheap earrings from Walmart that they don't sell anymore, even though it's only been like a year since I bought them. These earrings are like my new favorite go-tos. They are from a brand called Electric Picks, another woman-founded brand. They sent these to me, and I do have a coupon code if you want to check out their jewelry. They just have a lot of beautiful dainty jewelry, which I'm really into right now. I have quite a few options to try on my lips today. Let's open these lip oils. I'm curious to see how much pigmentation we get. This first one is in Loving. Oh, that's pretty. It's kind of like a warm plum. I'm trying to find which oils are in this lip oil. So we have meadow foam seed oil, jojoba seed oil, and avocado oil. Nice. And they're only $7.97. This next shade is Bliss. Ooh, that's pretty. It's kind of a warm brown almost. And then this last one is Trustworthy. Ooh, it's another brown shade. I like that. Let's just try Loving on the lips, and I can always wipe it off and try another product as well. Ooh, it's very thin. That feels really good on the lips. Yeah, this is definitely not as cushy as, say, the e.l.f. or Milani lip oils. It's a lot closer to the ColourPop lip oils, but with more pigmentation. Definitely some good noticeable color here. It almost looks like a stain. Also sort of reminds me of the Lottie London lip oils, because those are very thin as well. Not sticky at all whatsoever. If you don't like heavy lip products, but you wanted to try lip oils or you want those benefits, this might be the one for you. I like that. Okay, let's try the lip glosses. This one's in Suzy Q. That's a beautiful blue-based red. And this one is Semi Sweetie. Ooh, I really like that they've included these sort of browns and cooler tones. I want to try this one. Oh, I like this. Wow, their lip gloss is also pretty thin. Frankly, this doesn't feel all that much different than their lip oil. I love this color. I think that this would also make for a great nude lip gloss for deeper complexions. But for me, it's just a little bit of, you know, that fall winter lip statement. So this lip gloss is $8.68 and it has both sunflower lecithin, am I saying that right? As well as shea butter. It feels great on the lips. I'm just gonna say it, I am pleasantly surprised. I am eating my words in terms of like my first impression of the brand, not having tried anything yet. And now having this on my face, I'm like, this is good makeup. And like I said earlier, if the packaging has to stay simple to keep prices down, then I can't really complain. I just really hope that more people give this brand a shot. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, the brows are locked in. They are locked in. Hold on one second. Like I said, this is not the type of brow gel that's gonna work like a soap brow, but my brows are in place. Like I can feel them. They feel a little bit stiff, but not too hard. And there's no shiny cast. So even the brow gel is a win for me. But I will edit in an update from later today so you can see how this makeup wore right now. Hello, it's been about 7 hours since I put this makeup on, so just a little baby wear test, but I do already have some revised opinions about a few products that I tried today. Let me zoom you in. First of all, the mascara does flake. Just a little bit, the flakes are small, but they are noticeable throughout the day. And that is one thing that just drives me nuts. But because the flakes are so small, I would like to retest this mascara without building it up so much. Now also in this area, my under eye concealer did still crease even though we set it with the powder, but the powder was not enough to keep it from settling in these deeper creases under my eyes. I would be curious to see how it performs if I baked with loose powder on top of it, which is usually what I do in my under eye area. There is just a little tiny bit of product creasing on my forehead, like in my expression lines, but really not that pronounced. And same goes for my laugh lines. Just a tiny bit. It is really nothing too dramatic. Now the foundation as a whole has maintained a lot of its coverage, but keep in mind, I am filming this in December. It's not really going up against a ton of sweat or exertion, but my blemishes are still well covered with the foundation. And I know we layered just a tiny bit of concealer on top as well. I still think that it looks smooth. I'm not seeing a ton of separation. I am feeling and looking a little bit shiny in the areas that I did not powder, because I really only powdered like on my forehead, over my lines, and then in the laugh line. So around my nose, I do feel like I look just a little bit shiny. And honestly, even my forehead is showing some shine as well. So just a word of caution for the oily girlies, because I do have combo skin, and for the most part, my skin actually feels really dry right now in the winter, but I do still have an oily T-zone, obviously. But you can see that there's no breakdown like around my texture or my blemishes, and especially under my other face makeup, the foundation still looks smooth and even, and the makeup on top of it still looks smooth and even. However, after looking in the mirror all day and also starting to edit the footage from earlier, this shade is not my shade. I mean, we kind of knew that going in, right? So right now, the products that I still definitely recommend you try include the highlight, which is still poppin', as well as the blush and bronzer. These are great face makeup powders. They went on beautifully, they blended out nicely, and they still look very even and smooth on the skin. And this lip gloss felt amazing all day. Now, the color did completely disappear after eating. There was no stain left behind, but the moisturizing effect lasted all day. My lips felt so soft and conditioned. And I think once I find my correct shade, I'm really going to enjoy wearing this foundation. So definitely some gems from Pretty Smart Cosmetics. Have you been able to try Pretty Smart Cosmetics yet? If so, let me know what your favorite products from the brand are in the comments. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. If you want to keep watching, join me over in this video next where I test 6 popular budget-friendly lip stains and compare them so you know which one is right for you. I'll see you over there. Bye!